I'm tired of going through pain. I think I'm destined for greatness, so maybe I'm going.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Amir Views here. We back on another video, man. We back on another banger. We back to open the mind. You already know what time it is, man. We got a special guest. Who we got here today, man?
Charles Herron, rapper, producer, engineer, father, human.
I hope so, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And my uncle, man. You know what I'm saying? He saw me grow up. He saw me since I was little, me and my dad. So I wanted to bring him on the channel. It's going to be like a little podcast. We're going to be asking each other's questions. And y'all hear our views on things. So he already introduced himself. Y'all know who I am. Before we get into this video, hit that like button if you guys enjoy it. Subscribe if you are new. Comment down below. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So if y'all don't know, like he said, musician, he do music, engineer, all that type of thing. So what's your favorite between music or the engineer part? Like what would you pick if you had to choose one?
That's a great question.
If you had to choose one.
I mean, I've always naturally been like a builder of things, whether it be Legos when I was a kid or whatever, or cooking, just like you. You know, I like to assemble things, and some may call it a control freak or whatever.
Yeah.
But I would have to say honestly, I equally enjoy them both. But there are certain times one gives me greater joy than other. I try to, when I get into different roles, I try to lock into that role and don't think about the other roles I have to play, so I can kind of get into that. But I would say I equally enjoy them. But if I had to choose one,
The big question.
definitely MCing is going to win that battle.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of figured.
Definitely.
I kind of figured. But if it came down to my two things between this and sports, because I still love sports equally, even though I'm taking a little break, I would say this only because I can reach more people with having a camera and having a mic. I can reach more people than throwing a football.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like you see how content creation is blowing up. Content creators are borderline celebrities nowadays.
Right.
I feel like they can reach more people than an athlete can.
They can, because the influence is real. Not to cut your wisdom off, but you know, even my daughters. You know, my youngest daughter's about to turn 9, and my oldest daughter is 10. And you know, me and my wife like to say we're their main influencers, but it's unavoidable. You know, they are seeing the Mr. Beast, you know, the Amir. They're watching you, you know, which is good. That's good influence. So just like any duality we deal with in life, Islam, that there's the higher and there's the lower. Influence is everywhere. You're going to either have, you know, positive or negative. So you are going to reach more people with this because this is my personal opinion, most humans at their core are voyeurs. They like to watch.
Right.
They like to look. And it's kind of like well, let me see what they're going to do before we jump off the bridge type deal. And then that becomes the trend. So you're going to definitely reach more people doing that. I mean, yeah, you can throw a football and that's cool, but that's only going to go but so far.
Exactly.
You know, I enjoy what you do, and I'm 45.
So yeah, man, like you were saying, the influence. So my generation, you know, 2004, 5, 6, 7, I'll say a little bit right there, from like 15 to 20. Why do you think we're so easily influenced nowadays?
Once again, my opinion, but
yeah, your opinion. What's your opinion?
I believe, you know, that it has a combination of, you know, to do with a lot of broken homes, which I come from, and people looking for their tribe, quote unquote. You got a lot of young men and women, because at the time I was a young man, you know, and they're lost, you know, and without somebody there to guide them or at least kind of show them a path, they're going to basically take whatever information's out there. That's why you got a lot of people joining these crazy religions, because I'm not to say that it's right or wrong, but that's the only time that they've felt some kind of know, comfort
cared for,
or care, you know. And then once you go over that ledge and no one's there to tell you, like, yo, you might want to not drink that Kool-Aid, it's too late. You're already indoctrinated into that way.
Exactly.
And as me and you both know, once your mindset starts to dive into a rabbit hole, and lock in on something,
It's hard to get out.
It's hard to get out, man. Especially when you use words like, "This is my faith," "This is my belief," and a lot of this stuff we see with the BBLs and all that other stuff, but they don't realize is that y'all are making that y'all religion.
Man,
that is y'all.
That's the new religion.
This is what y'all believe. This is what you have faith in. That young lady has faith that she's going to get this ass and titties, and it's going to bring her the man that she wants. Man. When she doesn't understand, she got the wrong bait on the fishing rod.
She going to bring the opposite.
Yeah, bring the opposite, B. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but not to
over a little bit.
Yeah. Not to ramble on, but
no, you good.
I believe that's that's a huge thing, man. There was a movie called Dogma. It's one of your father's favorite movies. It has a lot of great quotes in it, but one of them is the guy says, "I have opinions. I don't have beliefs because opinions they're easier to change." You know what I'm saying? So
you can have an opinion on something and change the opinion.
Yeah, that's it.
But like you said, when you have faith in something, when you believe in something, it's hard to break out of
it's
that.
Hard.
Like you just said, like my generation faith is these BBLs, these certain cars that's gonna bring me women if I get a SRT or a Hellcat, and it's like that's what they really believe. They really believe that's a reality, and it's I can see it. I definitely.
It's bad. Like I'm telling the viewers out there, y'all do not know who I am. I get it. You know what I'm saying?
They're like, who is this random guy?
Everybody says that they cousin rap, they do music, but I have written for Future. I have written for a lot of people that have NDAs behind. I've mixed for a bunch of people. I've seen that side that people are trying to get to, and I'm telling y'all, it is not what you think it is. What's the brother, Juicy J? He just released his book about, everything he went through in the industry. And Juicy J was one of the biggest proponents of, turning up lean cups and all of that. And after they won the Grammy and all of that, he's like, I'm done. Because once you see behind that curtain for what it really is, you got a decision to make.
Either you're going to go all in or...
I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. Some of that stuff, I'm good. It's scary. And the scary part to me is that people are racing towards that. Yeah. When they don't have no idea of what it is, at all.
So when they do have an idea, like you just said, it's not what it seems. The grass isn't green on the other side. When they do have an idea that the industry isn't all what it's made out to be, why do you think they still chase that level of the Futures, the Drakes, the Kendricks, and stuff like that?
Once again, it's their belief that it's going
to work. It's going to be different for me.
To be different. All right, let me look. I'll break down some stuff. Okay, so I'm 45. All right, I've been professionally rapping, and I would say professionally, I mean somebody paid me to say a rap. I've been professionally rapping since I've been 12 years old. I got my first contract offer when I was, I think, 16 or 17. Shout out to my moms for turning that down because that's why I ain't on the streets right now. But it's real hard to kind of put a lot of this into to think. You think you have everything at your disposal. Like I've had people for years. I've always been the nicest person that has been around me. I've always been that guy, Oh, who's the best rapper, in this part of the Bronx? Charles. It's always been me. So I've never had a point in my life where it was like
bad rapper or something.
Exactly. Like as I got older and things didn't start to work out the way that I thought they were going to work, I had a decision to make. Is this really what I want to do, or am I just saying this because I'm trying to get to, to something?
Right.
And you gotta have, that structure, because it's not gonna never work out the way you want it to work. Murphy's Law is almost law. What makes you a professional is how you handle those life bumps and bruises and stuff that comes when it doesn't work out that way. Because I've never had a plan B. It's always music. I'm going to do music and that's it. I'm going all in with this and all of that. But, Obviously, I'm not filling up arenas or nothing like that, but I'm cool with that. I still make what I make, and I'm cool with that. I've made the relationships I make, but a lot of people, they can't handle that shock of when what they believe is going to happen doesn't happen, and it crushes a lot of people. It crushes. You know, and I'm speaking from personal experience, bro.
So how do you get over that? Like you just said, life is going to challenge you.
Yeah.
It's going to decide whether you're ready for this or you're not. How do you overcome those trials and tribulations that life throw at you? Because it can come at you at 15 years old. Somebody's watching this 15, or they 45.
Right.
So how do you overcome those challenges when it seems like the sky is falling? It's the end all be all.
Like I tell a lot of people, that's a great question. I literally was telling my daughter that the other day. You know, you kind of have to almost, you know, have the mantra of, what I tell her, you have to, as far as certain things go, just be slower to react, but just be decisive in what you do. And what I kind of mean by that is something messed up happens, okay? And I'm talking about, you know, oh my God, they're going to come repo my car. I don't know what to do. A bully's at school, and this kid is really looking to beat me up. Instead of just panicking, take a beat, take a step back, control your breathing, because that's the only way you physiologically can slow down your heart rate and everything else in your body. Just breathe and really meditate on what you want to do instead of letting your emotions and the chemicals involved with that push you to do something. And that's where most people mess up. They get pushed to do something. You know, I'll get a little bit deep for y'all. Like, I was living in Charlotte for I don't know how many years, 15 something years. Ended up having to leave Charlotte because of a situation with me and my wife and divorce and just a bunch of stuff. Long story short, if I would have reacted on emotion to a lot of that stuff, I wouldn't be with my family right now. You have to learn how to take what life gives you, internalize it, try to come up with a solution, and just see what it is. You know, because other than that, there's really not much more you can do. Worrying about it is not going to change the situation. You running and jumping to different conclusions and spinning your mind out of control is not going to fix anything. Crying about something is not going to fix anything. You have to take in the information, whatever is going on in your life, meditate, and then act. Because if you just get the information and then act, you missing 90% of what's going on. 90. Your dad has one of my favorite sayings. If it has a solution, it is not a problem. Bills come into the house. And look, I'm talking from a man that's helping raising 2 girls with a wife. We're still together in the same house. You might as well put us in a museum for being a dark-skinned black family that's all still together. Right. It's facts. But you have to. Bills come in. You know, we had a bill a couple months back, you know, came in. My wife, I don't know what we're going to do. Relax. Yes, it's due. Nothing's getting shut off. You know, it's going to get worked out. It has a solution. Right. So therefore, I'm not going to waste my mental energy depressing myself for something that's essentially out of my control until I can deal with it. I'm not saying put it off, but you know.
You just said something, depressing myself.
Yeah.
That is deep. I've honestly thought about depression and like feeling sad and overthinking. And there was a time, I would say back in like 2022, there was a time where I wasn't in the best mental spot.
Right.
I think I was like 2022, just turning 16.
Yeah.
And I was just starting to, you know, get serious with girls and stuff like that. And I don't know if I told y'all this, but I had a basketball tournament. And I was out for like a week. We was in Tennessee, and I came back home. You know, like a week later, I found out she cheated on me while I was gone. So of course I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm a teenager, I'm gonna be sad and stuff like that.
Right.
And I broke up with her, and then I acted, like you just said, acted on emotion. I didn't really just sit down and like address the situation and address
Right.
myself. And then I hopped right back into another relationship with a girl that I knew for a year, but she had so much going on, and I didn't. If I wasn't in an emotional state, I couldn't realize, like, just that's not smart to be serious with another girl after you just got out of one, right?
Right.
And that didn't end well. So after that, that's when I really started to, this is really the birth of Amir Views. I really started to lock in on myself and really wanted to get my mental right, because I seen how at a young age your life can change just on either serious stuff like drugs and abuse and stuff like that, or little stuff like a heartbreak, and then you change your whole mindset on the world, and now you want to be like, you know what I'm saying? You want to just...
Man.
So
That's
when
deep.
so when that happened, right? When that happened, 2022, late 2022, basketball had just started, and it was like you just said, depressing yourself, and I was like making myself sad about the situation. Like, it's over, man. Like, it's over. I'm good. And what I'm getting at is, I feel like us as humans, we put ourselves in an emotional state. I made a video on The Courage to Be This Light.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep, and
Yep.
it was I made like a couple videos on that book, and I still have more videos coming out. But I made one of the parts. It was the author was like, we fabricate anger, or we fabricate sadness and stuff like that. And now that you just said all that, what you just said, I see that, like, yeah, it was a tough time. You know what I'm saying? I got cheated on. Girl broke up with me, broke my heart or whatever. But I added on to it. I made it worse than what it really was. Like, I didn't lose an arm. I don't got any disease.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still breathing. I'm waking up. So it's like I added on to the situation to make it worse. To one, I don't know, why do humans do that? To make others feel bad for us, to get the sympathy, to have an excuse when life doesn't go our way. Well, this happened when I was 15, so that's why I'm like this. And you know, I think about that all the time. It's like we can choose the emotion we want to press. Like, in a split second, you can be in a... My dad always says, if I'm arguing with somebody more than a minute, I'm gonna stop, because nobody's gonna understand each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like, in that once it's like we're going back and forth, one of those, that one person can choose, like, all right, I'm gonna just stop. You got it, bro. Or you can keep going, and then I can escalate, and now it's a situation where, y'all fighting, guns can be drawn, and it's like you could have easily avoided that if you just didn't press that emotion. Or I'm gonna press the anger emotion, or I'm gonna press, I don't want to fight this dude because he said something to me. And it's like, I'm really starting to understand that. I feel like, especially us as young, or not us, but especially, my bad, but us as young men, I feel like controlling our emotions is huge. I see all the time on the internet. All right, so my generation, young men, I see we have a problem with controlling our emotions in situations where that could have been avoided. You know what I'm saying? Harm could have been avoided. Impulse decisions could have been avoided. Why do you think emotions and depression is so relevant? I switched it up a little bit. Why do you think emotions and the word depression is thrown around so much in today's age, where you just said you can easily not choose to be depressed, or
Right.
not choose to be emotional? And I know that might ruffle some feathers for a little bit of people that think that they're in deep, deep depression. I've been around people that have been in deep depressions, but we got willpower. God gave us willpower, and that's a choice. That's a choice to wake up every single day and choose to be in that state of mind. And eventually, when you break out of it, you're like, what was I doing for the past couple months? So why do you think that's so relevant nowadays in my generation?
I would think it's a big thing in your generation, and it's actually always been a thing. Mm-hmm. It's just now there's more classification and diagnosis of this getting handed out. But I believe it's a big thing because, and a lot of people are going to get mad, but a lot of people just don't take accountability for the things that they do. And you have to. I'm not saying I'm the best human in the world. I've done messed up things beyond belief that y'all would not understand. But you have to take accountability with that. Once you start to take accountability for, I'm not saying that you did something to somebody or vice versa, but you could take accountability for, hey, I just got this girl pregnant. You know, hey, I might have hit somebody in a car when I was drunk. Right. Instead of you trying to form things around it to, well, this is why this happened, instead of just saying, it was me. When you say it's me, that is the first step in you starting to understand what's going on. And I believe a lot of guys and girls, no one wants to start with it's me. It's always because my dad isn't there. My mom isn't there. I can't get a decent job. I can't, you know, you either going to fold or you're going to flourish. Right. You know, now there are cases where people from chemical imbalances do have issues with chemical imbalance. That's different. Chemical imbalance, yes, you can, you know, quote unquote, be depressed from that. But that's a medical thing. As far as like a mental thing, I would say, and I'm not a medical professional, but my opinion, more than 50% of the depression cases in this country could just be fixed by people just using willpower, which we all know is proven to manifest physical and mental changes. Yep. I'm not saying everybody is me, but for me, it works wonders. You know, taking accountability and really looking at what is the problem. Why am I so unhappy with this? And then focus and lock in on that. And you will be surprised once you start to put your brain power towards fixing a solution instead of wallowing in it, that depression kind of starts to go away because you're not thinking about it no more. You're thinking about moving forward. Right. So that's my opinion.
Need to have you back on the show. Yeah. This is fire, man. This is fire. I agree. I agree with it all, especially when you said like it's a difference. The chemical imbalance, that's totally different than you just a mental thing. Yeah. And a mental thing is you can fix that. It's all a mental game. 90% of this, when I play sports, every time it's 90% mental, 10% physical. Yep. Physical is like it'll take care of itself, but it's 90% up here. And that's why I always say open the mind, because a lot of people's minds is closed. They just, like you said, back to what you said at the beginning of the video, their belief system, their faith is in this little box. And when you tell them, well, maybe you should look at that, they're like, no, I got to stay right here. So that, you said it, accountability is another thing, man. I see all the time, you know, people make a post on social media and, you know, it get backlash, and then they want to be like, oh, well, they want to make excuses on why they made that video or this is that and the third, and never want to take the accountability and be like, you know what, guys, y'all right. I was tripping on that video. You know what I'm saying? And to end it off, why is taking accountability so hard for people of all ages and in my age group? Why is it so hard to be like, my bad, or I apologize, or something like that? Or it was my fault?
Because like most things most humans don't want to do, there's a perception of fear around it. You know, if I own up to this is going to happen. Even though it hasn't happened yet. Right. But if I, you know, all right, who pulled the school fire alarm? Right. Before they even start looking at people, first 48 people, in your mind, oh man, if it comes down to me, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Right. This is going to happen. And you'll start to spin it. You know? All I'm saying is that before any of that even happens, it hasn't come to fruition yet. So there's no point of you even
thinking about it.
Exactly. I don't want to say don't think about it as in you just neglecting. I ain't thinking about it, but don't put your energy into things that are in front of you and things that possibly going to benefit you in the future. All the rest of the other stuff is just, there's no point. There's no point. There is no point. And that's, I believe, is a big part of it, man. A lot of people take accountability. My girls, I tell them all the time, look, you will never get in trouble from daddy if you tell me. You tell me, I don't care what it is. But that you telling me and taking accountability for it allows me to get ahead of something. Right. It allows me to take the information in, accept it, and then plan for what we need to do as far as punishment or whatever.
Instead of just finding out.
Exactly. Then I have to react to it.
Exactly.
You know, and I don't want to react because that's when things start happening the wrong way. So,
man, that's what my dad always tell me. He tell me if I do anything bad or good, tell me.
Yeah.
Instead of me, like you said, me finding out, now he got to react. Now he got to think what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of me telling him, now we can address the situation how it needs to be addressed.
Exactly.
And that's facts, man. I think accountability has a lot of fear to it. Like you said, like people are afraid of what's going to happen. Like you said, the fire alarm. If I tell my principal it was me, I can get expelled. This is that and the third. That hasn't happened yet. Just you made the mistake. Own up to it. You know something's gonna happen. You know what came. You know what's gonna come with that action when you did it. You know you gonna if they find out, you're gonna get in trouble for pulling an alarm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And not to cut your wisdom to the fans out there, because I know a lot of y'all, it's like, I ain't gonna never get a girl, or I ain't never gonna get a guy. Let me tell you, the fastest way for you to attract the right type of people is when you start taking accountability for stuff. They will see. That's the real Riz. Hey, the check come in, I'm taking accountability for that.
Right.
You know, oh, it's my birthday, I need you to, you know, whatever. I'm taking accountability. That's how you get partners. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to drop that because I see that's a big thing right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Taking accountability, like it's definitely the biggest thing that a lot of people deal with.
I'm 45. I just learned how to take accountability in the past 3 years.
Right.
Like for real, like
Right.
you know, like really take accountability for stuff.
And
It's a process.
And I say it in some of my videos, but whenever I make these videos, man, I'm talking to y'all, but I'm talking to myself first and foremost. And, you know, I've had experiences with these things, and it's like dealing with emotions, taking accountability. We're human. It's gonna be hard for us to do those things, but once you really grasp your mind and around that, you're gonna be living like you on utopia, man. It's life is what you make it. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? It could be heaven or hell on here. Some people living in hell, right on this earth, and some people living in heaven. And you get to make that choice. You got free will. God gave us free will, and you get to make the path you want.
Manifest what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't make a ton of money for music, but last month I paid both of me and my wife's car payments with music money.
That's a win.
I manifested that. And you can too. Anything you want to do out there, any dream you have, just start affirming it. You know, I know Amir has talked to y'all about, you know, the vision board and affirming yourself every day. You got to use the vibrations. You have to say it out loud. Not just think it, say it out loud. And just by you doing that act continuously, you will program yourself. We are big supercomputers walking around. This is how you start to program yourself, by self-affirmation and taking accountability. You will be surprised the things that will happen in your life. And I'm talking about from the person who's homeless on the street to the person who's living up in the penthouse or whatever. Facts.
That's a mic drop. That's how he is. Man. That's how he is. I can't even top that no more, man. It was a great little podcast we had. More to come in the future. Like I said, y'all, my second channel, I was playing the game, and I was like, you know, I really want to take this main channel serious, so it's going to be more quality over quantity. So I'm going to take time with these videos, and this is one of them, man. So I really appreciate it, Unc, coming down.
Listen, bro.
Coming down.
Thank you.
Recording this with me. Got the new mics, y'all, so the vlog's going to be fire.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm
The
taking
vlog's
accountability for him. Y'all need to take accountability for yourselves and tap into this brother right here, man. Tap in.
Much love, man. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, man. What are you doing? It's free. I'm not asking for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe if you are new. Stay disciplined or you will be disciplined. If she ain't get with the program, she can get this step in. I love you all. Stay positive. Stay safe. God bless you all. Amir Views is out until we open the mind once again. Peace.
I'm in love with the trouble. I left on my problem. Taking cause of money. The hell we gon' solve. You talking no stick. I'm on the east side where the killers and robbers.